What's up, my friend? My name is Peyton Helm. Welcome back to the Full-Time Wedding Pro podcast. In this podcast episode, I'm going to be answering the question that I get asked probably one of the most often times is, should I show my full pricing? Should I show a starting rate? Should I show no pricing on my website? And listen, if you're a wedding photographer or filmmaker, I'm going to be answering that question for you in this video. Also, this could totally apply if you're even not a wedding photographer or filmmaker, but obviously this is a podcast for wedding photographers and filmmakers. So I assume that's what you are. Now, if you don't know me, you don't know who I am, my name is Peyton Helm. I am a wedding and elopement photographer and filmmaker, originally from Tennessee, now in Clearwater, Florida. And I shoot weddings and elopements all over the world. And I also am the owner of Full-Time Wedding Pro, which is a coaching program with currently almost 190 members in it. And yeah, we get amazing student results. I'm just scrolling through the wins channel right now. As I'm making this video, a lot of my students are hitting 10K to 20K months, and we do that through paid advertising, raising prices, and really mastering branding and sales. Okay, so that's kind of who I am. That's why I am able to talk about what I do. And again, if you want more proof that I actually know how to get people results and this can actually help you, if you go to my Instagram at Peyton Helm, I have 2 results highlights. I have 2 because I maxed out the first one at 100 results, and you just all you got to do is just scroll through them, and you can see all of my student results. So anyway, I just wanted to touch on that, not to brag, but mostly just to show that I know what I'm talking about. I've helped hundreds of people scale their wedding businesses, and I really understand how to structure a really good sales process. And that's mostly what we're going to be talking about in this video. Now, I also do want to say everything in this video is predicated on the fact that you are getting inquiries. So if you are not currently getting inquiries, one of these things might help you in this video, but if you're not getting any inquiries, then you do not have a pricing issue. Okay, you have a marketing issue. I really want to hit that home. Okay, now it could be a situation where, you know, if you were getting a lot of inquiries, like a ton, and then you raised prices and you're not getting inquiries anymore, that could be a pricing issue. But if you in general are just not getting a lot of inquiries and you used to be at your current prices or whatever else, then, and you're not anymore, then please understand you do not have a pricing issue. You have a marketing issue. You need to fix your marketing to get more inquiries at your price point. Okay. So I really just wanted to touch on that because I get that question a lot too from potential members who join the program. Like, hey, I'm just not getting inquiries. I don't know if it's a pricing or a marketing issue. And 9 times out of 10, you're undercharging. And then 9 times out of 10 is a marketing issue. So I just wanted to touch on that. If you're not getting inquiries, I have other videos on this channel and on this podcast. And then I also have the full coaching program, which you can apply down below. Just go to fulltimeweddingpro.com and we can chat. But anyway, so I wanted to touch on this because like I said, I get this question a lot. So if you're getting inquiries but you're not sure whether you want to show full pricing or you want to show no pricing or whatever else, I'm going to show you the different reasons why you might not want to do that. Because the answer in general is not yes or no. There is not one thing, like one set way that's going to be best for all of you. It is going to be very highly dependent on how you want to structure your business and whether you want to optimize for opportunity, meaning booking opportunity, or time. Okay. So we're going to be touching on that in this video. Now, to do that, I need you to understand resistance. Okay. Now, resistance is literally what it is. Whenever people go through a process with you, it's usually called a sales funnel. Okay. You don't have to call it a funnel if you don't like that word. I know that word has been kind of synonymous with scams and stuff. But typically when people are going through a sales process, you can call that a funnel, but I'm just going to refer it to either a funnel or a sales process in this video. So just know that's what I'm talking about. And what that is, a sales process is when people go to your website or they go to your Instagram. Again, if you're a wedding photographer or filmmaker, and then they fill out an inquiry form, and then you either email or message them to get them on a phone call. Whether it's a phone call, audio call, a Zoom call, a FaceTime, or meeting them in person, that doesn't really matter. I mean, it kind of matters, but it doesn't really matter in this context. That is a sales process. Okay. And at some point in that sales process, they are seeing your pricing and then they're making a purchasing decision. So that's what we're going to be talking about, is incorporating resistance in that. Now, in Full-Time Wedding Pro, I have I talk a lot about this, and I have actually scripts and literal structures on how to do this really, really well, depending on what your goal is. And I'm pretty much going to be scratching the surface a little bit on that in this video. Okay. So let's talk about incorporating resistance and what are the results from incorporating resistance. All right. I'm going to zoom on this a little bit. I can't talk today. I don't know why. I've already done 2 videos and I'm just like tongue tied. So anyway, let's talk about incorporating resistance. So low resistance means that you will get a higher quantity of leads, so you'll get more leads, but the quality of those leads will be a little bit mixed, okay? So if you have no resistance, that's pretty much like the example in this scenario is showing no pricing. Although pricing is not the only way you can incorporate resistance, that's just the way that we're going to be talking about in this video. So for example, if you showed no pricing, you would have a lot of leads, a ton of inquiries, but you would have mixed quality. Now, I know you're like, okay, Peyton, well, I see people talking a lot about price transparency, like, hey, I value price transparency and so on and so forth. And while yes, as a business owner, if you want one of your brand pillars to be that you value price transparency, go for it. What I will say is the general market doesn't care. If a wedding client really likes your work and you're not showing full pricing, it's very, very, very unlikely that they're going to just pass you. They will if they're on a budget. But if you're charging more than $2 or $3 grand per wedding, that's not going to matter for you anyway. Okay. If people know they want to spend that much money and they like you, they're going to inquire. And this is not my opinion. I have data to back this. Okay. So, and that's another thing. I actually have the data in this that this is a data driven video. Okay. I'm not just speaking from opinion here. And this is also not just something I have done. This is data collected from all of my students and all the people that I've helped for free. Okay. So please understand that everything in this video is truthful and this is not just my opinion. So anyway, low resistance, if you show no pricing, you will get a lot more leads because people, they can't make a buying decision on your website if you don't show any pricing. So they're going to have to talk to you, right? So you will get a lot of leads, but they will be mixed quality. And when I say mixed quality, I mean, you're going to get people in there who have what am I trying to say? A perceived budget of 10 grand, and some people who have a perceived budget of like $1,000. You know what I mean? So it will be a little bit dependent on how you set up your brand. So there's ways that you can set up your brand to attract a higher value type of clientele, and I'm sure I can make a video on that if I'm not already. But in general, you will get a mixed quality of leads. Okay. So sometimes I have students in the program who are running ads, or they're ranking on Google, or they're getting inquiries from social media, and they're not showing any pricing. And they're also not incorporating any resistance whatsoever. And they're like, hey, I'm getting a lot of, potentially a lot of low budget leads. And I'm like, okay, well, number one, that's normal because you're not showing any resistance. Like you have no resistance. You're just letting everybody inquire with you. So that's normal, right? So if you want lower good Lord, I can't talk today. If you want less inquiries, but you want those inquiries to be higher quality, then you need to incorporate resistance. So that's where we come into high resistance. So pretty much when you incorporate high resistance, so an example of this would be showing a starting rate or showing full pricing or having a pricing video or whatever. That would be less quantity of leads. So a lower amount of leads, inquiries, but those inquiries would be higher quality because a lot of times they've already been pre-sold on you. They've pretty much already made a purchasing decision with you. They just need to talk to you first. So that's how you incorporate high resistance and low resistance, or well, that's pretty much what that is. And I'm going to be showing you how you can incorporate that in this video based on your goals. So let's talk about, now that you understand that, let's talk about when to show pricing. Now, this isn't necessarily like what I'm recommending you do. This is just in general when you can show pricing. And this matters based on what we're going to talk about in a minute, because I'm actually going to be showing you the different ways that you can do this. Now, when do you show pricing, or when can you show pricing? Number one, on your website before the inquiry. That's the first way you can show pricing. Number two, after the inquiry, but before your call with the client. So that could be sending them PDF. That could be sending them a pricing video. It could be sending them, even just texting them and saying, hey, yeah, my prices are this based on what you're looking for. Those are all ways that you can show pricing before the sales call, but after the inquiry. So you get the inquiry, you get them on your email list or whatever. So now you can have conversations with them and show them pricing that way. That's another way you can incorporate resistance. The third option is showing them the pricing on the call. So that's what a lot of people do. If they don't show any pricing whatsoever, the first time your client is seeing pricing on the call, that's one way to do it. Or I've seen this after the call. So you have the call, you get all of the information on the couple, on what they want. And then after that, you form a full proposal and you send that to them. That's probably the least common way to do it, but I have actually seen a lot of success from people who charge a lot of money who do that. And I've actually bought services who do that with me for more than 5 figures. So, or more than 10 grand, I should say, because more than 5 figures would be 6 figures. And I've not bought anything that's over 100 grand. That's not, a house or whatever. So anyway, that's showing pricing after the call. Okay. So those are the different ways that you can show pricing. There might be more, but I don't think there is. That's pretty much the entire sales process there, unless you show it in like an ad or something. But whatever else. So that's when you can show pricing. So now let's get tactical here, and let's show what happens when you actually do these specific things and what you might want to optimize for. Okay. So, let me zoom out here. There we go. Okay. Now the first goal here would be optimizing for opportunity. Okay. So this is what I would recommend you do. If you are willing to spend a lot of time talking to leads, if you need more inquiries coming in and you need more booking opportunities, this is what I would recommend you do. Okay. So I would recommend showing no pricing whatsoever until you get to the phone call. Okay. Because the phone call typically is where the highest conversion rate can happen based on your sales process. Okay. So when it comes to, this is another conversation we could have probably in another video, but there's a tiered list for sales conversations that have the highest conversion rate to the lowest conversion rate. So the highest converting sales method would be in-person sales. Those usually convert the highest. Second to that would be video to video call. Okay. Third to that would be audio call. Fourth to that would be video, like one video to many people. So like that would be me making a sales video and not taking calls. And then lastly would be showing pricing or whatever, like having the sales conversation on a website or over text. Okay. So that, like, the highest converting is, in-person sales, showing pricing at that point, and the lowest converting would be showing it on a website. So using that knowledge, that's what we're going to talk about. So if you have no leads coming in and you're marketing, you actually have like your marketing dialed in, but you want more leads and you want to spend more time to get more booking opportunities, then I would recommend showing no pricing. Yes, I know a lot of people believe in price transparency. Look, if you believe in if you believe in price transparency and you're not growing your business, you might need to abandon that belief. I'm just saying, okay? Ethically, you can believe whatever you want. I'm just presenting you the data, okay? If you have full pricing on your website because you believe in price transparency, but you're broke because nobody's inquiring with you because they're just price shopping you on your website, you might need to abandon that belief because it might not be serving you. So anyway, if you want to optimize for opportunity, this is not the only way, but one of the ways you can do this is showing no pricing. And if you don't want to do that, I will show more in this video. But anyway, showing no pricing is one way to optimize for opportunity, because what happens is when you show no pricing on your website, you will get a lot of inquiries. Those inquiries, again, will be mixed bag. Okay. You'll get some low budget, you'll get some high budget. A lot of times budget doesn't matter. That's another conversation. But anyway, some couples will be totally broke. They can't afford you. Some couples will love to afford you, right? You will have lots of messages and calls. So you're going to be on sales calls quite a bit. You're going to be sending a lot of messages, a lot of emails. This could be very hard to manage if you're at scale and you don't have a team. Okay. So just keep that in mind. And then you can, if you're doing video calls, you can expect, if you're good, like really, really good, you could expect to have about a 30% conversion rate. I've worked with clients, and also just seen friends in the industry who are really good salespeople. They can't really get more than a 30% conversion rate as long as they're actually charging appropriately and they're not showing full pricing before the phone call. Now, and this is just a benchmark, so it could be lower than this. I have students in the program who have a 10% conversion rate and they're hitting like $200,000 or $300,000 a year. So, if you're higher than that with this type of sales process, that's actually a pretty good indicator that you're undercharging. So if you're showing no pricing until your call and you're getting above a 30% conversion rate, you might need to raise your rates. If you're getting under a 30% conversion rate, you actually might need to work on your sales process. But that is one way that you can optimize for opportunity. So the end result here, you are spending the most amount of time. You actually also have a lot of mental stress with this strategy because you are getting told no, and you're getting told you're too expensive. You're getting ghosted 70% of the time. And that's not a fault to the industry or to the market or whatever. That's just the fault of this sales process. You are going to get told no way more often than you'll be told yes with this strategy. And you have to be okay with that. That is just part of the game. So those are the cons, but the pro is you have far more booking opportunities than you would if you showed full pricing. And that's just the way it is. So that's one way that you can optimize for opportunity if you want to get more leads in and you're okay with them being a little bit of a mixed bag. So now let's talk about optimizing for time. So this is the literal opposite of optimizing for opportunity. This is optimizing for time. So this is, I usually only recommend this for people who are already scaled with their business. They're getting, 5-10 inquiries a day, and they just have no time at all to be sending all these emails, all these messages and stuff like that. They're turning away people. So this is how you optimize for time. You show full pricing on your website or right after they inquire, either one. So you show full pricing before you even have a sales conversation. Okay. And I literally mean it, like all of your collections, literal full pricing. You can do a video, you can do a pricing guide, doesn't matter, full pricing. What happens here is you get very, very, very few inquiries because people will price shop you, and you will lose people that you probably could have booked if they see full pricing. This is a big mistake I see a lot of beginners make, is they show full pricing because they believe in price transparency. What happens when you show full pricing is people will go to your website, they'll see your full pricing, they'll probably get confused because you've probably not listed it very well. And then they'll get confused, they'll price shop you, they'll say, whatever, I can get 8 hours with this other photographer and they're kind of similar for a less price, so I'm gonna go with them. That happens a lot if you're lower priced and you show full pricing. Again, if you're not getting any inquiries in and you're show phone pricing, you might want to change that. So, yes, like I said, I only recommend this to people who are already very highly scaled, and you're already pretty much fully booked out and you need to turn away a lot of people. So again, you'll get very few inquiries. You'll be spending very, very, very little amount of time on messages and calls. Pretty much if somebody inquires with you, it's almost a done deal that they're going to book with you. So you will have usually above 80% conversion rate if you do this after the inquiry when you get them on the phone. A lot of people who do this don't even get people on the phone. They just have them book them over DM. So what happens here is you have a lot of opportunity lost, but you save the most time. So again, I only recommend this to people who are probably already fully booked out over 6 figures, like you're set, right? And you have your marketing dialed in, you're getting tons of inquiries in, and you're good. So yeah, keep that in mind. If you want to optimize for time, show full pricing. But again, if you're under 6 figures, or even if you're over 6 figures, but you're just not getting any inquiries in and you're doing this, I would definitely not recommend doing this. So that is the polar opposites from optimizing for opportunity and optimizing for time. So that begs the question, okay, Peyton, what if we show a starting rate? Let's talk about that, because I know that's what most people do, and for good reason. This is how you optimize for both opportunity and time. This is, in my opinion, the best bang for your buck for both. This is what I do in my personal wedding business, and this is what I recommend most of my clients do as well, because it's the best of both worlds. Now, yes, you can make a whole lot of fucking money doing both of the strategies that I just told you about. But if you are under 6 figures or right around 6 figures, you're scaling. I actually really recommend this if you're running paid ads, by the way. I recommend showing a starting rate. Here's what happens. You get fewer inquiries than you would if you showed no pricing, but those inquiries are typically very high quality because they've already committed to saying, yes, I've seen your starting rate, I can afford that, let's go. So you will get fewer inquiries, but those inquiries will be much, much higher quality. You will spend way less time on messages and calls, which is great. And you should have about a 60% conversion rate. Okay. So this is the example of where I'm showing pricing on full pricing on the call after they see the starting rate. Now you can show full pricing after the inquiry, but before the call, if you want to, that will lower your conversion rate because again, tiered list, highest converting is in person and video to video. Okay. So if you are showing full pricing on the video to video call, you should have about a 60% conversion rate if you're good at sales. It actually could be higher than that, but based off the benchmarks from the data that I have in the program, if you run this and you have over a 60% conversion rate and you're showing pricing on the call, you actually probably need to raise your prices because you're not getting told no enough and you could be making more profit. I mean, it's up to you based on how you want to run your business, but this is the way that I have found works the best for me. It could work the best for you. It couldn't. I don't know. It's up to you based on what you want to optimize for. So the end result here is this is a good mix of opportunity and time and mental stress saved. Because while yes, you will be told, hey, I just can't afford it or whatever else, even if people see you're starting rate, because sometimes people change their minds. Sometimes people get on the phone with you and their parents are paying for it and their parents aren't sold, or their fiance is not sold, or they try it and it just doesn't work. Things happen. That's normal. Or they go with someone else. That happens too. So this is how you optimize for both. So in general, TLDR, this is a pretty short podcast episode, but TLDR here, if you are getting 0 inquiries and you're showing full pricing, you probably need to either just show a starting rate or show no pricing whatsoever. Situation 2, if you're getting a ton of inquiries and you have zero time to work with them and you are turning people away, I would just show full pricing. I would probably do so with like a video on your pricing page or whatever else, just so that way you're still like showing your personality. And then third, if you want to optimize for both time and opportunity of booking, I would just show a starting rate. And that's what I do on my website. So anyway, guys, that is the difference between public and private pricing. And that is whether or not you should show pricing on your website. Hopefully this video helped you. Again, if I just really want to make this clear, if you're struggling with getting inquiries, I really want to emphasize that it is very, very likely a marketing issue and not a pricing issue. So I have a ton of other videos on this YouTube channel if you want to watch them about inquiries, about paid advertising. I don't know why I was blanking on that. Paid advertising and all that stuff. So go watch those videos or go listen to those podcast episodes if you need help from that. And again, if you want me to help you personally do all of these things in your business, you can apply down below for my coaching program, and we'll talk more. But yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this video and this podcast episode, guys. It was a little bit of a shorter one. But yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.